Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we continue to follow the latest on the aftermath of Hurricane Milton, where at least 16 people have died from the storm. Plus, in the final stretch of the campaign season, both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are appealing to voters out west.
And we're seeing temperatures right now in the 60s and 70s. We're going to go up in temperature for the weekend. Details in a few minutes.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Hurricane Milton is now blamed for at least 16 deaths in Florida, the second major storm in just 2 weeks. This one left behind more ruined homes and lives in disarray and an estimated $50 billion in damage. CBS's Tom Hansen has the latest from Pasco County.
An epic cleanup is underway in Florida along Hurricane Milton's path of destruction. Streets are swamped, sidewalks buckled, and hundreds of homes damaged or destroyed.
I'm going to rebuild. There's no doubt about that. It's the only place I got.
With the 1-2 punch of Hurricane Helen and now Milton, Penny Schallberg's Cortez condo is in pieces.
It's devastating. It's your life. It's what you've worked for and worked hard for, and it's gone.
Speaking outside a crane collapse in St. Petersburg, Governor Ron DeSantis said parts of the state suffered record rainfall and deadly tornadoes.
I went to St. Lucie County yesterday. They just had a massive tornado come through a community and it left 5 people dead.
Crews have rescued more than 1,600 people and 140 animals from floodwaters and rubble. Got it. Sites like this reveal the storm's fury. Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays, is now open to the elements, its fiberglass roof in shreds. President Biden promised to help those in need.
We're going to do everything we can to help you pick back up the pieces and get back to where you were.
The president says he'll travel to Florida on Sunday to visit the hardest hit areas. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Pasco County, Florida.
Crews say they're working quickly to restore electricity, but as of this afternoon, more than 2 million customers were still without power. That is down from more than 3 million. We'll take a look at this footage in Florida of someone performing an in-house rescue operation. This happened at a home in Dover, Florida earlier today. Deputies with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office were wading through knee-length waters into a home to evacuate the people inside. As recovery efforts continue in the wake of Milton, crews from Kentucky are pitching in. A crew from the Frankfurt Power Board has been in Florida since Milton made landfall on Wednesday. The Brotherhood is one source of inspiration that led the board to send 7 men and 4 trucks down to Mount Dora, Florida. That's about 34 miles northwest of Orlando. The area these crews are responding to service roughly 5,800 people total, and the storm left about 4,500 of them without power.
First 12 hours, the 2 jobs we worked on got 2,000 customers on the first lick, and then the second lick they got 1,000 customers on. So now they're past the big outages, and now they're slowing down to like single taps and servicing.
Officials with the Frankfurt Power Board told our sister station WKYT they expect their crews to head home tomorrow night. Farmers across the southeast are working to rebuild 2 weeks after Hurricane Helen devastated the area. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has sent workers to North Carolina and impacted areas to clear trees and help coordinate the environmental response. A deputy secretary for the Agriculture Department says any impacted farmers can reach out for help with their recovery.
USDA is here to support farmers as they try to think about what happens next. If they want to start thinking about the resources that might be available, one place to look is www.farmers.gov/hurricane to talk through some of the resources that are available.
So far, more than 230 people have died from Hurricane Helen and its aftermath. Our parent company, Gray Media, is teaming up with the Salvation Army once again for hurricane relief efforts. You can make a financial donation by going to floridastormrelief.org. Just scan that QR code there on your screen and you'll be directed to the right website to donate to the Salvation Army.
Well, as advertised, we're seeing temperatures in the 60s and 70s, making for a beautiful start to the weekend. This is a scene right now in Lawrence County. You can see the leaves are starting to change colors there in Lawrence County, making for a beautiful start to your Friday evening. Another thing that's making for a nice start, the temperatures. We're seeing temperatures in the 60s and 70s, mid-70s towards Manchester, 73, Irvine, 73, Somerset, 73, and Monticello. Harlan's at 74, Pikeville, Prestonsburg is at 69, 66 is the current temperature in Logan, and we're seeing a clean sweep on live pinpoint Doppler radar. And again, this is going to get a nice little break as we go into the next several days, with the exception of Sunday night going into early Monday morning. There's a little bit of a rain chance, but that's it. Next 12 hours keeps temperatures in the 70s by the 6 o'clock hour, mid-50s by midnight, upper 40s, low 50s by the 6 o'clock time frame. And I know we've got a lot of festivals and a lot of activities going on this weekend, and we'll break everything down in the First Alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thanks. A federal appeals court judge has denied a request by Sean Diddy Combs to be immediately released from jail. The judge referred the case to a panel of 3 judges to hear arguments on whether Combs, who remains in federal detention in New York, should be granted bail. The original judge in the case also denied him bail. The judge cited his concerns about witness tampering, physical violence, and Combs' ability to flee the country. Tools to limit screen time on TikTok apparently serve little purpose. That's according to mistakenly released unredacted documents regarding the social media giant. The documents were obtained by Kentucky Public Radio and NPR. They are linked to a major lawsuit against TikTok filed by a bipartisan group of 14 attorneys general. In these documents, TikTok executives reportedly discussed potential dangers for teenage users on the video sharing app. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are focusing on the politics of race today as they try to shore up support during the final homestretch of the presidential campaign. Trump is visiting solidly blue state Colorado to talk about migrant crime, while Harris is in the battleground state of Arizona to shore up support with Hispanic voters. CBS's Nicole Skanga has more from the White House.
Former President Donald Trump arrived in Aurora, Colorado, a city he claims is filled with migrant crime, to announce a crackdown on Venezuelan gangs if he's elected.
In Aurora, multiple apartment complexes have been taken over by the savage Venezuela prison gang known as Tren de Aragua.
Cindy Romero is at the rally. She captured video last month showing gang members operating at her apartment complex.
This isn't just affecting me, this is affecting all of you as well.
The city's Republican mayor also welcomed Trump into town, but for a different reason.
That narrative is not accurate.
Mayor Mike Kaufman says the crime from migrant gangs was limited despite Trump's repeated accusations about his city.
There's an advantage politically for, quite frankly, the former president to run this narrative through the November election.
Vice President Kamala Harris is also out west today. She attended Hurricane Milton briefings virtually before turning her attention to voters in Phoenix, Arizona.
The people of this state have always shown extraordinary courage to stand up for the principles upon which we as a country were founded.
Harris is aiming to shore up support among Hispanic voters. In a new AP poll, Harris has a higher favorability rating with Hispanics than Trump, but she's struggling to win over Hispanic men in particular. Harris's campaign launched an Hombres con Harris voter outreach group this week targeting Latino men. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the White House.
Harris has also struggled to shore up support among African American men. Thursday night, former President Barack Obama campaigned for her in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he called on black men to vote for Harris, adding that a vote for Trump was unacceptable. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is campaigning with Vice President Kamala Harris in the key state of North Carolina today. Beshear has made several trips out of state and a slew of television appearances in support of Harris in recent months. The governor was considered for the VP spot on the ticket with Harris before she chose Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Russia has confirmed Donald Trump sent the Kremlin sample COVID-19 tests during his presidency in the early days of the pandemic. Journalist Bob Woodward first revealed the shipment of tests in his new book, raising more questions about Trump's relationship with Vladimir Putin. Trump has denied Woodward's account, but yesterday a Kremlin spokesperson said the Trump administration did indeed send, quote, several samples of test kits. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, with the November election approaching, our investigative team shares the most common election-related scams and how to avoid them.
And as you head out the door this evening for your evening plans, it's going to be a nice day out there. I'll have your hour-by-hour forecast in a few minutes.